Hi, I'm Reed Milliken,
My name's Ian Ackerman.
and today for our film project while we are on break was to create just some sort of media, and we chose to do a podcast. So today we're going to be talking about Disney Plus. Disney announced that they were going to be doing the streaming service back in January of 2018. It just released in November 2019. I have it. I love it. I've been using it for pretty much since it released, watching the stuff. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I got it around when it first released. I just did the free trial, and then over winter I just didn't get it. But recently, I think in the past month, I want to say I got it back again. And I don't know, I like the shows that they're bringing, like The Mandalorian especially. I love that show. It is so good. I really like The Mandalorian. I haven't really watched any of their other like exclusive stuff. I guess I watched Lady and the Tramp. I didn't really like that. It was okay, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like as time goes on, especially with like the Marvel stuff that they're going to bring, that's going to be insane. So right now I like it, but in the future it's only going to get better.
Yeah, I agree. I watch a lot of the same shows as you do. I think I watched The Mandalorian. I really liked it, and I watched a couple of the original movies that they dropped on there. But I mean, that doesn't mean I haven't been using it. I've been watching a lot of the other movies that they released in theaters, like in years back. I've been watching a lot of those recently. And that kind of brings us into our first point, which is stuff that they have released on the streaming service. So whenever Disney first dropped the streaming service back in November, they released one of their biggest shows already, The Mandalorian, with it. And Star Wars has never seen a live-action TV show before, so this was a pretty big deal, and it was a really good idea, I think, to release this upon release of the streaming service, because you got a ton of people to go out and buy it just straight away. And so I watched it. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and it's crazy because on top of like already several movies that Disney is doing every year, this has opened a big opportunity for different franchises to release more content.
Yeah, I agree with what you said with like it was smart to release the Mandalorian when it did, because like the new trilogy, yeah, it kind of brought back Star Wars, but for a while there was just no like content for a while. It was really just the the new trilogy that they're doing with the movies, and I thought it was really smart. All right, so you're bringing a new streaming service. What do people want to see? One of your big things that you bought was Star Wars. All right, well, people want to see a new Star Wars show. And I thought it was really smart. All right, if we're going to sell people on the idea that we're going to have a streaming service with like all our different properties that we own, I thought it was really smart to start off with The Mandalorian. And they made it good, which definitely helped them. I can guarantee it's going to drive more sales with season 2. And even with like Marvel, like I know that the movies have been extremely successful, but with the TV shows, it's going to bring more revenue to Disney. It's a really smart idea, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And just like the opportunity for franchises like Star Wars and Marvel to be able to release more content with the release of the streaming service is just, I'm sure, is a great opportunity because they're just able to get more content out and therefore make more money.
And yeah, recently with coronavirus and everything, a lot of people are staying home, so they're going to be, they've released Frozen 2 early. I think it was supposed to come out, I want to say June or something like that, but they released it like this weekend, I thought it was really cool. And stuff like their theatrical releases with like Black Widow, it's rumored, it's not confirmed, but they might just air that on Disney Plus when it first comes out. I think that's a really smart idea. It drives business, it gives people a reason to buy their service, and people are home, they don't really have much else going on. I thought it was a pretty smart idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if it'll end up making more or less or about the same as it would with a box office run. I'm sure Disney's doing tests on that now to see if that works. But yeah, with Frozen 2, they released it super early on the streaming service, and Onward has only been out since the beginning of March. And they put it on the streaming service like a week ago, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's right.
It hasn't even been out in theaters for a month, and they've already put it on streaming service and for rent on other stuff like I saw on Amazon. They're doing a bunch of movies to rent that are like still in theaters, which I think is kind of crazy that this opportunity has been happening. And I think Disney, part of the reason why they're getting so many sales is because they've done a good job trying to appeal to their market. You know, with having two of the biggest franchises that they have available, Star Wars and Marvel, they have pretty much all the movies from both of those franchises on the streaming service. If they didn't have them at the release, they have them pretty much now, except for a few here or there. And then also they have like all the National Geographic stuff on there. All the I think you can do like some sort of bundle and get ESPN. So clearly they're targeting and succeeding to target a wide market. You know, with sports, movies, nature, just that whole big umbrella. They've been able to sell it to the people because there's just a lot there, a lot of reasons to get the streaming service.
Right, and even with like Pixar movies and stuff like that, I know they're doing like some Monsters Inc. TV show coming out soon, and just having Pixar on your belt is crazy. Like Disney, they know what they're doing, especially with the new Fox deal. Like they're bringing over The Simpsons, they're bringing over like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Home Alone, all those type of stuff. Like Netflix doesn't really have any of that like library of like Disney built over 100 years, like Mickey Mouse and like all that kind of stuff. That was like early 1900s. So they just have like the name brand attached to them. Whereas like Netflix, yeah, they used to have like all these Disney movies, but now that they're being pulled away, I don't know how popular Netflix will become. It's hard to tell right now. But I'm interested to see how the business is going to be in about like 5 years or so once Disney really builds their library of like new TV shows and movies and stuff like that. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy because like Netflix, they have like a couple like, you know, really big movies. Like I know they have the Dark Knight trilogy on there right now. They have the Lord of the Rings stuff on there right now. Like those are two pretty big franchises that obviously Disney can't touch because they don't own them. But I mean, it's crazy to think because you'll notice less and less Disney stuff is appearing on those streaming services on Netflix, on Hulu, on all that stuff. And so, you know, with Disney pulling stuff off that, especially now, like what you said with the acquiring a Fox, pulling all those huge properties off of other streaming services, it's almost creating a monopoly. You know, just having all of that like material exclusively on your streaming service. If people aren't going to buy it at that point, then you know who is. Seeing all your favorite movies, and it's interesting to think about. Netflix has been this huge giant, this huge movie giant for the past like 10 years, pretty much since it released, and only now are they seeing such competition. You know, they have a huge library of much bigger than Disney's of original stuff, and so obviously they'll always have that. But with new stuff going on and taking off every day, with less and less of it becoming Disney and Fox, it's just interesting to see, you know, how that'll turn out. Whether Netflix will continue to be the movie giant that it is now, or if it'll decrease or sales will decrease or stuff like that.
Yeah, like you were saying, with now's the time to get Disney Plus. Like their price right now is insane. It's only $7 a month or $70 a year, I think, which is just insane. Like other properties like Apple Plus, Netflix, Hulu Plus, all these different types of streaming services, I don't think they're that cheap. And especially having the Disney brand attached to it, like with Pixar and Star Wars and Marvel, just having all that is insane. I think it's a really great deal. Obviously, they're going to bump up the price, I'm going to say in a year or so. It's not going to be this cheap in the future, but right now, amazing deal. I feel like everyone should get it. I mean, especially now with Corona and everything. People, like sports aren't going on. Sports have been canceled. Like the Olympics have been postponed. Like people don't really have anything to watch. And I think right now Disney Plus is the best option for people to get the entertainment that they need. And you'd still get like Netflix and Hulu and stuff like that, but I feel like Disney Plus is probably the better deal right now, just because of the price. It's so cheap.
Yeah, it's obviously the best option right now. And yeah, it was. I liked what you said. I mean, once they've got all these people on the hook, they've got 50 million users and climbing. You know they're gonna bump up the price. If the people are loving it $7, the people are gonna love it for $8, $9, $10. And so Disney, you in a year or so, I mean, Disney charges a lot for things already. You know that's gonna be bumped up $3 or $4, and it may still be cheaper than Netflix, but like it's gonna bump up a little more in the coming months or in the coming years, I'm sure. Positive, you know, all of Disney is positive. What we've talked about so far, there is negatives. I know, at least for me, some of the Marvel properties that are on there. I know a couple of the movies. I think Avengers: Infinity War, which is a big one, still isn't on there yet. It's still on Netflix. And there's some of the more obscure properties, like I was looking at, like Prince of Persia or Lone Ranger. A couple of those movies I wanted to watch, and those weren't on there either, which I was a little disappointed to see. So I mean, obviously there's a lot of good going on, but if I think I had to pick one bad, it would just be that like still not everything's on there, even though they have a ton already. I don't know about you.
Yeah, similar to what you were saying. I came over because I wanted to see the Disney content. Like, I was happy with Netflix having all these different types of movies, like Infinity War and stuff. But now that they're gone, I'm like, all right, well, I still want to watch all these Marvel movies and stuff like that. So I bought Disney Plus. I switched over, and then now that I have it, like, I'm paying for Netflix and Disney Plus, and no doubt Disney Plus is going to go up. And I just feel like, I don't know, it's good. It's going to be expensive because I want to see both the content that I like, but right now I feel like it's just going to get more expensive as time goes on. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's like having to pay more for the stuff that you were already seeing.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you for listening to the podcast. Today we talked about Disney Plus. If there's anything else you want to hear about, let us know. But thank you for tuning in. I've been Reed Milliken.
I've been Ian Ackerman.
All right, we'll catch you guys later.